My name is Chiquita Haywood and I'm in Longview, Texas, and I'm getting ready to prepare my famous lasagna. One day, I'm always cooking. I'm always cooking for all sorts of events, and I just love to cook. So one day I decided, because I like to experiment with different dishes, that instead of making my lasagna with ricotta cheese and the way how I was taught, I'm going to try it with Philadelphia cream cheese, and it ended up being just a awesome dish that everybody loves, and everybody wants the recipe, and everybody wants me to make this dish for them. I won't give them the recipe. I tell them, if I tell them, they're gonna have to die, because it's a secret I'll take to my grave. But Paula, I saw you on TV one day and I was like, maybe I should try that. And then when I heard it was $25,000, well, I thought, well, hey, not just anything for Paula, but for $25,000, that would be awesome. So here we go. I've prepared everything, and I have my ground beef already grounded up. I'm gonna add some seasoning, my onions, my garlic. I'm gonna add everything to the dish right now. Just adding it in. That was my seasoning. These are my onions, and I usually puree them up because I have kids that don't like onions, but I love the way how the onion flavor is in the dishes. So because the onions give it a good flavor, I usually puree them up so the kids don't have to have the chunks. That was a little bit of brown sugar, a quarter cup that I put in there. That just takes a little bitter taste off of the tomato sauce that we're gonna add in a couple of minutes. So we're just gonna mix this in really good. It's pretty easy, and it doesn't take me that long to make at all. The longest time is for it to sit in the oven. You can use lasagna pasta that's already oven ready, and if you use the oven ready lasagna, then that just stays in for a little longer than a half an hour. But when I have my pasta already cooked, it usually just stays in for about a half an hour. It cooks really nice. It gets nice and golden brown on the top. Right here we have 5 pounds of hamburger ground beef, because my lasagna is usually very meaty and everyone usually just loves it. So now we're gonna we're gonna bring our pasta, which I've already pre-cooked. Let's move these out of the way. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna take a little bit of the sauce and just put it in the bottom of the pan, just to moisten it up. Should have got a different spoon. Just a little bit. And I'm gonna actually add a little bit of water in the container that I had the tomato sauce in. Sorry. And just do that. That just adds some moisture to the bottom of your pan. Get that in nice, even it out to cover the bottom of the pan. And then we're going to do 3 layers across. Sometimes the pasta gets broken up when you boil it. So you just even it out. Now we're just going to I usually put a good portion of the meat. I don't measure how much I put in there. I just make it a good portion to go across, and I divide the meat up pretty evenly, where we're gonna have about 3 layers approximately, and within the 3 layers you can even it out pretty good. The cream cheese now, and I've already cut it up in little squares, and I usually do them in just little tiny squares, so that some of these are a little bigger, but it's okay because I love the taste of Philadelphia cream cheese. I love the taste when it melts in my mouth. We're gonna sprinkle some of the Parmesan cheese and the mixed cheese. The mixed cheese that I have here is Colby Jack, the yellow and white. That was Parmesan cheese that we'll just sprinkle a little bit on top of that. And then this is the Colby. Just sprinkle a little layer on top. Not too much, but just enough so the cheeses melt all through. Oops. Next, we're going to put another layer. We're going to put another layer of the pasta. I usually have this meal cooked within an hour and 15 minutes at the most between the preparation and the oven time, so it really doesn't take that long. We're going to put another layer of meat. My top layer always has the least amount of meat, the one that's going to be right on the top. So you just try and put as much meat into your first two layers as possible. Okay, so here we go again. Just continue on doing the layers until you get to the top, and then I'll just show you what it looks like when we finish. And now we're just going to top it off with the last bit of our cheese. Try to cover it evenly as possible. Okay, and then we'll put this in the oven for about 35 minutes. We'll look to see if it's nice and golden brown on the top. Okay, now we're going to put this in the oven. Sprinkle a little bit of Parmesan on top of it. Should be enough, because sometimes people just add more Parmesan to it as they eat it. We're going to put this in the oven at 375 for 35 minutes. Okay, 35 minutes is up. We've taken the lasagna out of the oven. Remember, we had it in there on 375 for 35 minutes, and look how nice and golden brown it is around the edges, and ooh, I'm sure somebody can't wait to taste this. Okay, here we go. We've let it cool down for 15 minutes, and I've put it with some nice corn on the cob and some garlic bread. This is usually how I serve it at home, and my kids just love it. As you can see the layers, you can see the cream cheese in it, Philadelphia cream cheese. Oh, I just love it. So let's have a taste. Just give you a little look-see. Doesn't that look nice? And we'll just bite into it. I got a nice piece of cream cheese right here, so. That's good. And so here you have it. Here's my famous lasagna using Philadelphia cream cheese.